Well, hello everybody. Welcome back. This isn't a review video or anything. This is more of a rant video slash discussion of spoilers that are coming out about the upcoming Flash movie, for better or worse. So a lot of the rumors making the rounds lately are, once again, that the upcoming Flash movie will more or less essentially erase the Snyderverse from existence. I've heard these rumors before, and then I've heard rumors basically stating that they weren't true, but a lot of credible sources have been coming out in the last week or two, basically reiterating them again. But then also, like, someone like Mikey Sutton's also come out and stated that a lot of these rumors were true, but some things have changed along the lines, so they're not exactly 100% accurate. They're more like 80% accurate. And from basically going through most, like, a lot of the rumors and, like, just siphoning through them, more or less what's being said is that yes, the Flash will more or less essentially erase the Snyderverse to a degree. They are going to, as a lot of people already know, they're bringing back the Michael Keaton Batman from the Burtonverse, the first two late 80s, early 90s films, Batman and Batman Returns. And he is going to replace Ben Affleck in the DCU as the Batman. But as we all know, Keaton's pushing 70, so clearly he won't be continuing on as Batman. So he will make his triumphant return as Batman in The Flash, and once his Batman gets merged into the actual DCEU, by the end of the film, he will retire, and then he's going to pick Barbara Gordon as his successor and train her to become basically his replacement in the upcoming HBO Max original film Batgirl. So that'll be interesting. So basically, they plan on keeping the elderly Bruce Wayne, played by Keaton, around as kind of like more of a Nick Fury type in the DCU, with the upcoming new Batgirl more or less replacing him in the DCU. But however, from what's being said, he will have a substantial part to play in the upcoming Flash movie, and you will get to see him suit up as Batman during that film, especially for the final climactic sequence of the film. So you are going to see him as Batman in the film, but from going forward, you're only going to see him as more or less the elderly Bruce Wayne. It said he might have a small scene or two as Batman in the Batgirl film. But he'll either quickly, retire from the role in that film, or just completely be Bruce Wayne in that film. There's conflicting reports about that. I think where it really comes down to is, Keaton's ability to be able to handle a lot of the action, considering he's almost 70. So we'll see what happens with that. But that's supposed to be happening for Batman / Batgirl. Another thing is they're apparently going to erase the Cavill Superman. And the Supergirl that we see introduced in The Flash will more or less take his place in the new aligned, amalgamated universe that will be happening after the Flash film. And they're saying Momoa's Aquaman and Gal Gadot's Wonder Woman will continue on in the universe. Shazam's going to start playing a bigger role in the DCU moving forward. And apparently, as we all know, it's been reported that Ben Affleck will show up in the Flash film. But it's sounding like his part isn't really that big. Because Affleck himself has stated he and Michael Keaton didn't share any scenes together. So if everyone was hopeful, thinking that we're going to kind of see the Batman together on screen like we got to see the Spider-Man together on screen, I don't think that's going to happen based on what Affleck said. Affleck said he was more or less on set for a week's worth of shooting. And then Affleck's stunt double was on set for an additional week of shooting. So it sounds like basically the DCU Affleck Batman, combining what Affleck actually shot and what his stunt double shot with basically a week each, will make up his role in the film, which probably sounds like, based on that, probably 20 some odd minutes in the movie, if that. Based on only being on set having that Batman on set for 2 weeks. 1 week actually being Affleck and the other week being his stunt double. So it sounds like, from the sounds of it, obviously his stunt double was doing more of the action stuff, and doing some standing in stuff that they'll easily be able to CGI Affleck's chin and eyes over, so nobody will know tell the difference. And Affleck was more or less just used for like a lot of the major dialogue stuff and a lot of the close-up scenes. So yeah, we'll see how that goes. But another big thing too, they were stating that Henry Cavill's Superman may have a small role in the film, but they're just using archival footage from stuff he's already previously shot. So it doesn't sound like his character will have any dialogue. It'll just be like maybe like a background scene or a short scene with him. And if they are using archive footage, like the rumors are saying, it's sounding like the rumors are true that he's being erased out in favor of the new Supergirl. Other things that were coming out is apparently Val Kilmer. Even though they were initially saying Val Kilmer won't appear because of his medical condition, it's stating that they were flirting around with the idea of using like a body double for Kilmer, and then CGIing Kilmer's face over the body double, and then having Val Kilmer's son, who can do a pretty spot-on impression of his father, do the line or two dialogue that the character needed. But I understand that if Kilmer's Batman does show up in the film, it's just going to be a brief cameo, something quick, while the Flash is like bouncing from universe to universe. Another rumor was that George Clooney would show up briefly as another elderly Bruce Wayne, and Jordan. I always mess up his name. Joseph Gordon-Levitt. There we go. Who appeared in The Dark Knight Rises, was rumored to have a cameo as the John Blake Batman that essentially takes over at the end of that film. So they won't actually have Bale back. It would be Gordon Joseph Levitt in the Bale Batman costume for a quick cameo, because that's more or less how that film ended, with him taking over. So I guess if they were going to be respectful to Christopher Nolan's universe and just use a quick cameo, I guess that's how they would do it, and that's how they would essentially keep Bale out, considering that Christian Bale doesn't want to return to the role whatsoever. Yeah, that's interesting. And apparently they're going back and forth whether or not to include a cameo from Robert Pattinson's Batman in it, because apparently Matt Reeves doesn't want them to include it, but the higher-ups at DC want to, so we'll see how that goes. But from what the rumors are stating, it's his Batman won't be the Batman that gets merged into that universe. His Batman is just going to continue existing on in a separate universe from the rest of the DCU. What were some of the other rumors that were being reported? They did announce that Michael Shannon will be coming back as General Zod. And the actress who played his second-in-command in that film, I forget the actress's name and I forget the character's name, but she'll also be returning for a small part in the Flash movie as well. So it'll be interesting having those two back, but them not actually having Henry Cavill back and just using archival footage. It'll be weird. Because the rumor is that Flash would be bouncing around from universe to universe, and even within the timeline of the main universe. And apparently the Flash's actions screw up events for Man of Steel, which will end up not having Zod die, but will have Zod in his second command, instead of being killed, ended up getting sucked into the Phantom Zone. However, I believe his second command did get sucked into the Phantom Zone. Zod didn't. Zod, as you've known if you seen the film, had his neck snapped by Superman at the end. However, originally what they were planning, I don't know if it was the final draft or the draft before the final draft. In the script, Zod didn't die. He did get sucked into the Phantom Zone with everybody else, and that's how it ended. But the rumors are that the Flash will somehow alter what happened in Man of Steel and go back to the original idea for the ending, and just have Zod sucked into the Phantom Zone with everybody else, and also make the giant climactic battle not as horrible. So Metropolis apparently won't be as destroyed as it was in that film. But if they're somehow like merging the universes and certain things are getting erased anyways and changed, I don't understand what the need is to do that as well, unless this just shows Zod to get sucked into the Phantom Zone so they can use Zod later down the road. I don't know. We'll see. What were some of the other big rumors that were going on? Sorry, like I had them all in my head before I started shooting this video. I'm starting to ramble through, trying to think if I've covered everything. I think that's all the major cameos that are talking about. Major plot points. And apparently the film will end with the new amalgamated timeline. Michael Keaton's elderly Bruce Wayne more or less taking on his Nick Fury role, and then the Flash, the new Supergirl, and Shazam getting together and forming a new Justice League. That will obviously be the three of them, plus the upcoming Batgirl. As it's been said before, Gal Gadot's Wonder Woman, Jason Momoa's Aquaman will still be around and will still be a part of the new universe, so they will be a part of the new Justice League going forward as well. And it was strongly rumored, somewhat confirmed, that what's his name will be showing up as the Martian Manhunter in the film as well. I forget the actor's name, but the actor who played General Lennox, I think was the character's name, who they revealed in Zack Snyder's director's cut of Justice League, that he was really the Martian Manhunter all along. Apparently, the Martian Manhunter will apparently also appear in the film, more or less, assuming the role Superman was supposed to take in the film originally, before Warner Brothers and Cavill had a falling out. That being said, I don't know if Martian Manhunter will still be around after the universes get merged and the end of the film happens. But apparently he will be showing up again in The Flash. Whether he sticks around, we don't know. And everyone take this with a grain of salt. These are just rumors, but a lot of these rumors are coming from reputable sources that have been extremely correct with a lot of rumors that have come out in the past. Got a lot of stuff right with the Spider-Man film and some other films. So yeah, we will see what the DCU is like going forward. However, backtracking to what I was earlier saying about how certain things were in effect that might be slightly changing now, which may eventually debunk some of these rumors, but also give them a little bit of credibility that they were true at some point, but may not be anymore, is Mikey Sutton and a couple other people were talking about how some things have changed. And they are talking to Zack Snyder again. That being said, what some of the rumors swirling right now is that Zack may get to do another DCU film, which will essentially be an actual Justice League sequel. But his film is going to more or less be what the rumored is, a standalone film that will obviously take place after the events of the Justice League film, but potentially before the events of the Flash film. Meaning that that they will have occurred, like the events of the film will essentially happen, but because of the events of the Flash, whatever happens in that film won't matter going forward, because essentially they'll just have been erased. I think they were basically comparing it to it'll be like a Black Widow-esque movie, where it's a prequel film that takes place after her death, but the events in the film took place before her death. So that's what the rumor is, that Zack Snyder and company will essentially get to do their Justice League sequel, but it's not really going to matter in the overall universe going forward. And it may just end up being a very expensive HBO Max original film, but considering the budget that's rumored for it, if it turns out to be true, I strongly see this being a theatrical film, because you can't make a Justice League film for between 200 and 250 million and expect to get all that back by just making it a streaming film on HBO Max. So they will have to, essentially, if it does happen, I guarantee it will be a theatrical film, because they need to make their money back on that. But yeah, good luck getting Affleck back, because he has made it abundantly clear that he's done. I wonder if it's a couple years down the road and he knows it's just coming back for this one thing and this one thing only, he might change his mind. But he more or less stated that he only came back for the Flash so they could give his character a proper swan song, and he could finally hang up his cape and cowl, because he's just done doing big IP movies. So yeah, we'll see how that is going forward. But I think that's all for now, folks. I hope everyone's having a good January. We're only a few days into the new year. As I said, take all these rumors with a grain of salt. I apologize if anybody feels these were spoiler-esque, but as I put in the title of the video, this is a flash rumor rant. So you kind of knew what you were getting into when you clicked on the video. So if anybody stayed all this way through and is really, really angry, I apologize, but at the same time, you knew what you were getting into. But that being said, I hope everyone's having a good one, and I will see you later. All right, bye-bye.